past weekend, Donald Trump finally hit the campaign trail. So I headed down to South Carolina for what was originally permitted as a MAGA rally, but later downgraded to an intimate event.
What is this event?
It's a Trump rally.
It is a rally.
I'd say it was.
It's not a rally.
It's somewhat of a rally, but it's not a big rally.
Now, I thought it was a rally. It's not a rally. It's a bunch of people standing in line.
It's an event, it's a list, it's invited list only.
This is a private event that VIPs have been invited to.
Yes, only heavily vetted VIPs were invited, like this guy.
Sombrero Trump, Jim Yates from Lawrence, South Carolina.
Sombrero Trump.
Yes, it's not a rally. It's a leadership forming leadership teams.
I see a guy like this and I'm thinking, this guy's got 2 dates circled on his calendar. Cinco de Mayo and January 6th.
Yes.
This kickoff was packed with classic style and classic takes.
Donald Trump is president right now.
He's currently the president.
Absolutely.
He is still president. There's a lot of things that this Biden person does not have, like the presidential seal and things like that, that are pretty obvious.
Wait, Biden doesn't have the presidential seal?
No.
When he speaks, there's a presidential seal in front of him.
It's not real.
What is he doing as president?
He is in charge of the military.
Great.
The military is in charge of this whole thing.
The military were put in charge in 2018 when President Trump signed an executive order.
The American military arms that are going to Ukraine, we have Donald Trump to thank for that?
No.
That's
two militaries.
There's two militaries.
There's a good and a bad.
So there's 2 militaries. Donald Trump's in charge of the good one.
Yes.
Biden's in charge of the bad military?
That's exactly right.
Fortunately, there were some supporters who still believe an election cycle is actually necessary and were serious about planning for a long campaign.
It's just been doing a lot of preparations, a lot of testing the waters, and just what's normal.
Talking to advisors?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nick Fuentes, Kanye West,
pretty
like
much,
the minds that are going to shape
Right.
the point of view of this whole campaign.
Yeah.
The original Trump brand is still strong.
Sweet as honey, that guy, huh?
Yes.
Mr. When the looting starts, that's when the shooting starts.
But a new election cycle could mean a different tone.
What are you seeing that is different about Trump and his tone with this kind of an event?
I think it's more elevated. He's at a more kind of a mature level. How everybody's got all their advisors, it's almost like he's finally listening to his a little bit as far as tone the comments down.
Are you noticing even the MAGA community being
Oh, they're
more
great.
serious and respectable?
If you watch the conservative rhetoric, it looks like you still love America.
Conservative rhetoric still respects positions of power in this country.
Our police, our military.
Our executive branch.
Exactly.
What's your hat say?
I don't remember. I could shit a better president.
This campaign is already attacking Biden's approach to the war in Ukraine, while lauding Trump's brilliant, yet still theoretical approach.
Putin would have never, ever gone in. And even now, I could solve that in 24 hours.
Trump says he could pick up the phone and end this thing in 24 hours. What actually would he say?
Knock it off. He'd kind of be that kind of tone to him.
You think tonally, knock it off might cower Vladimir Putin?
Because he knows Trump stands up and says, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it.
So you wish Biden would threaten nuclear war?
No.
No.
Strong stance of, hey, stop doing this.
Okay. Or
You gotta have a rattle behind that saber.
right, which is
Troops, but you don't want to do troops
Right.
because then you have all that war.
right. So what would it be?
Threat of it.
Threat of troops.
Correct.
So you want Trump to get into office and promise to put troops into that war?
No, I want him to stop it verbally because you don't want military into it because then it escalates.
Right. But you said verbally you have to have some sort of backup.
Correct.
So you want Trump to have that backup, which would be not troops.
No, he has the troops.
So you would support troops being sent in.
You don't want to send troops in.
It seems like a complicated situation.
It is very complicated.
Fortunately for some of these non-rally goers, it doesn't have to be that complicated.
I haven't seen any news reports about, this terrible war in Ukraine.
Where do you get your news?
On Newsmax.
And they haven't covered it at all.
I think that there's no war to cover. I think the whole thing is fabricated, and I think that Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine, I believe that this is all extortion money.
I spent a little time in Hungary, and I met people who were coming from Ukraine to try to find safe haven. They were actual refugees fleeing what they said was a war zone. Were they Lying?
I just think they might be actors, as far as I know. I believe that they might be actors.
All of those people I met in Hungary, those are
I think-
refugees.
I believe that the government is paying them to do that.
That's a lot of actors. If that's a SAG gig, that's going to cost you
Hey.
billions.
And if this is the Trump campaign's first round of invites, America is in for a sweet, sweet ride.